Hello and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'll be analyzing the Zaporizhzhia front and telling you what the Ukrainians are planning and why they are planning to do so. So, what is happening in the Zaporizhzhia front is that the Ukrainians keep pulling in more troops and gathering forces here in this northern area next to the front line. And their intention here is to actually engage in an assault where they go southwards towards Melitopol, as well as Tokmak, which are their primary targets, after which they will try to go further south and reach the Azov Sea. The goal here is to cut off the Russian supply lines that go through Mariupol to the west and towards the Kherson region. And to completely cut off the Russian supplies to the Kherson region as well as Crimea, they need to cut off this road here by the Zaporizhzhia front, as well as the Kerch Bridge, also known as the Crimea Bridge, which we have seen that the Ukrainians have done a sabotage attack on. And so far the attacks are very limited, which is why the Ukrainians really need to receive the ATACMS rockets from the United States. Their goal is to reach the Azov Sea, which is here to the south, after which they will be in range with the ATACMS missiles to actually hit the Kherson Bridge. But from the current distance, they are at the very edge of the limits of the range, which leaves them in a position where the shots wouldn't be accurate enough for them to accurately shoot down the bridge. They need to consistently hit specific targets within a few meters accuracy, which they can't reach at a 250-kilometer range. However, from a 150 to 170-kilometer range, that is very much possible. So they need ATACMS missiles as well as reaching the southern area right at Azov Sea. So their main targets are going to be Melitopol as well as Berdyansk, which is why I say Tokmak is a main target, because from Tokmak they can go southwards towards Melitopol as well as eastwards towards Berdyansk, and their targets will also be Polohi to engage from multiple directions. From a very pro-Russian source, they say that the Ukrainians have gathered 5,000 foreign mercenaries of Polish origin in this Zaporizhzhia front, as well as a lot of heavy equipment, such as tanks, infantry mining vehicles, and other heavy equipment, as well as large gatherings of artillery and HIMARS rocket launchers. So the Ukrainians are planning a massive offensive here by Zaporizhzhia to reach the Azov Sea and cut off Russian supplies to Kherson as well as Crimea. However, so far they have not received any of the ATACMS missiles, despite requesting them consistently throughout the war, as the Russians have set that as a red line for the United States. They claim that if the United States sends these types of missile systems, the Russians will take them as a partner in this war and will essentially declare war on the United States or give a proper response in some kind of like, in a way similar to attacking the NATO supply lines into Ukraine in Poland or Romania or something similar to that, which essentially causes World War III. So the Americans want to avoid that, so they have so far refused to give any ATACMS missiles to Ukraine. Just a couple days ago, the Ukrainians requested it again, and the United States said, yeah, you're doing just fine without it, so we will not send it. So this may change up the strategy a bit. However, their goal will definitely be to cut off the supply lines between the west and the east by reaching the Azov Sea, which allows the Ukrainians to completely cut off Russian supply lines going through this southern region, which they are doing right now. And what they can do is continue to do similar attacks to the Crimea Bridge. However, it has become much more difficult now because the Russians have now seen that they are willing to do so and are capable of doing so. So they will be upping their defenses and security in the area to prevent the Ukrainians from repeating such an attack. The Ukrainians will have these four targets, which is Polohi, Tokmak, Melitopol, as well as Berdyansk, which will allow them to control this whole area here, allowing them to cut off the Russian supply lines to Kherson and Crimea from this northern area, leaving the Kerch Bridge as the only source of supplies for the Russians in the west. And they will keep requesting from the United States to send ATACMS missiles so that they are able to strike the bridge. Until then, they will not be able to. So that's it for this update. Thanks for watching and have a great day.